I can't. I can't stop smiling. What a year, man. What a year for your Cleveland Browns. You did it at home. The Flack man does it again. David Njoku's a beast. Myles Garrett got a holding call and a sack. These are the days that mean so much to you, the fans out there, to that team, to this town. They don't come by all that often. And I know we've had to go through so much this season, but it just makes it that much sweeter that we wake up on a Friday, nonetheless, and you get to say that your 2023 Cleveland Browns are going to the playoffs! Yeah! Yeah! Yes! Yes! Come on, man! You did it with Joe Flacco! Dude, yes! Yes!
5 words for you, Matt.
Yeah!
5 words for you, Matt. Flacco round and find out. We're going to the playoffs.
We are going to the playoffs. It's a Victory Friday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. Hey, is Ryan Tyler. Dude, yes! Yes! God, does it feel so good, man. Woo! I know there are people that have not gone to sleep. I know there are people waking up to go to work this morning on 2 hours of sleep. And I know there's a lot of you that just called off work today. And that's all right. That's all right. Dude, what a celebration today. What a celebration last night. Doing that at home was so amazing. That stadium was rocking. Nick Chubb smashes the guitar. It was not Steve Harvey. It was not Tim Misney either, but that's okay. That's all right. Nick Chubb, I mean, dude, everything about that game last night was perfect. You didn't even have to sweat the game. Like, okay, yeah, interception, this and that. Okay, they scored on their next drive coming down. Ryan, that whole game from the kickoff, from the opening drive, you just felt like this was destiny. And you felt like the Browns were in control the whole game. I don't even think the final, I mean, you won by 17. I don't even think it was that close. You throttled them, and you punch your ticket to the playoffs, man. You still have the number 1 seed at play. You still have the number 1 seed at play for a team that set that NFL record by going to the playoffs with 4 different quarterbacks. You had to do it without Nick. We know all of those things. And today, it's just the wave of emotion. It is just the smile that you can't get off the face of Cleveland this morning. Like, we wake up today winners. And the thing is, it's funny because they sent out those pictures and the videos after, and everybody's partying as they should. And this isn't even the Super Bowl. Like, I always tell that to people that don't maybe understand it, that this place will not know how to handle it when we make a Super Bowl. It might be this year. Odds are increasing, of course. But you just watch that. And, you know, sometimes life can be undeserving. And you don't get what you think you should. This is something, truthfully, that we all deserve. For the fans out there, I think about the generations, right? Think about the people that you have talked to or woke up this morning. I think about it to my dad, to my brothers, to my in-laws. But then, no joke, bro, I was holding my 5-month-old daughter last night, watching that game. She's known nothing but a good Browns team, by the way, which is incredible. But that's what brings this town together. That is what weaves the fabric of who we are in this town, why we are Browns fans. And I know it's not been easy because I've been there with everyone while we've gone through it. Even in the microcosm of this season, going through everything that we have, boy, do we deserve this. We do. And I can't say this enough. the credit to the players, to Kevin Stefanski, to Andrew Barry, to the Haslams, because they are the ones that got this done. We know if there was somehow a meter of fandom that correlated to a Super Bowl, we'd be the Patriots. We'd have 7. It wouldn't even be a question. That's not how it goes. And it took time to get this thing figured out, to get the right players in here. And oh boy, did you get the right players in here, man. Like, I know, I'm sure a lot of people have seen the video this morning. David Njoku going to that kid, signing an autograph. They just grabs him and he goes, we're going to the playoffs. I mean, there are players on this team like Myles Garrett, which certainly we send our condolences. He said that he lost his uncle last week. And to play through that and to be focused for the game. But there are players on this team that you love. Joe Flacco has now entered the conversation as a forever Cleveland legend. Everybody saw the line yesterday of people exchanging jerseys and getting a Joe Flacco jersey yesterday to watch him go out there and lead the Cleveland Browns to a playoff berth, clinched with a game to go. And we got a lot to get into about that game for this weekend, to recap that game last night. Joe Flacco has now become a Cleveland legend. You know, that's the other thing about this town. We dive into people. Like, you come here and you are somebody who's helpful in the community and you bear your soul and your heart out to our teams, we'll love you forever. We will love you forever. That is now Joe Flacco. I never thought it'd be Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
But it's Joe Flacco.
Doesn't it feel like, Matt, we're like in Doctor Strange, like the multiverse of madness, like one of those parallel universes where Joe Flacco has been the Browns' savior
the whole time.
Never was on the Ravens.
You know,
he's been born and bred in Cleveland.
There's one way. You know, he sits there. Spoiler alert for the end of Avengers. He goes, "There's one way. Yeah. There's one way."
I looked through 9 bajillion trillion universes,
and this is the one way that makes it work. And it just. Dude, this is why we're fans. This is why we buy gear. This is why we go down to the stadium. This is why you stay up late on a Thursday night knowing you got to work on a Friday or you got to get back up. And I cannot tell you, dude, how sweet that this is on a Victory Friday. And I am just going to get slapped in the face with football over the next 4 days. And I just get to sit back and bask in the glory. That is football. We already won. We already clinched. Yeah, I'll be rooting for the Dolphins on Sunday. Don't get me wrong. But I just get to sit back and watch a lot of football. The cherry on that Sunday. Ryan, our Typico boost hit. Plus 1,000 on our Typico boost.
Two weeks in a row. Big Plays put together a plus 1,000 parlay. We are on an absolute heater. We are feeding families here at Big Play.
We hit
if you're
our
not
Cavs
on the
one.
train, get on right now.
We
if
hit
you
our
like
Cavs
money.
one too. That's 2 days in a row, let alone 2 Browns ones in a row. Get signed up with Typico. Use that code BigPlay100. You deposit and bet $25. You get $100 in bonus bets. Folks, we had a 1,400 parlay last week for the Browns. We hit, was that a 500? No, it was bigger than that. What was our Cavs one?
It was like I think it was like plus 600.
Plus 600. We hit that on Wednesday, and then we had a plus 1,000 one for the Browns
absolute
last night.
Heater.
Dude, this feels so good, man. It's incredible to watch the resiliency of this team. And the funny thing, I had this feeling, not just even doing the show yesterday, but just from Browns Nation, we were all afraid of a trap game. We were all worried, right? Because we've seen things not necessarily go our way. And that was the complete opposite of what you saw last night. You saw the Browns, even when the chips are down, you saw them play to a level much better than the Jets. And I apologize. I think it might have been Damian Woody who sent this tweet out. But the tweet was, the Jets have no excuse. Look what the Browns have done, right? Like, yes, they got less of Aaron Rodgers than we got of Deshaun Watson this year. But of all of the reasons that you could be making excuses for this team, and they would be valid, and they would be acceptable, and they did none of that. They said, doesn't matter. We have got to find a way to persevere. And the job that Andrew Barry has done to find some of these players showing up. Who the hell thought Ronnie Hickman would be making plays like that? Shout out to the Rocket, man. You might have found a starting safety there in him.
Yeah.
You know, you found these players to come in and make plays. And it all starts with Joe Flacco. I would imagine that there will be a giant boom in the name Joseph Vincent. Probably 9 months from now. Maybe.
I asked pre-show. I asked Matt. I asked him. I said, "Would you legally change your name to Joe Flacco for the Browns to win a Super Bowl?" And I gotta say, man, I feel like you might be in the minority. Imagine everyone in Cleveland is just named Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Joe Flacco. A lot of jerseys around, man. There's a lot of jerseys around for Joe Flacco. And for yesterday, okay, first off, he ends that streak for the Jets. The Jets had a 33-game active streak going into that game yesterday of not allowing a 300-yard passer. Well, he got 300 on him.
Almost in the first half.
I know, in the first half. And I know there were a couple questions about it, about like at halftime, how you kind of keep this going, right? And they scored that touchdown in the second quarter, and you kind of like, okay, like what are we gonna do here? They got that interception. You felt kind of like momentum changing a little bit. But the Browns, and that's why that fan base, man, dude, being at home yesterday was such that advantage. You were able to kind of weather that storm quickly, and you just kind of ran it out there. What was there, 6 combined points there at the end in the second half? You played a complete game. You played an absolutely complete game for the Browns yesterday. But it goes back to Flacco, man. He is making some of those throws. That Njoku throw that he was just I don't know if it was CJ Mosley or if it was Williams. Yeah. And he just throws it right over his fingertips. And David Njoku with yet another career game. And I got to take on Njoku. I got to get to here in a second too. But talking about Flacco. Dude, the pocket movement again from him. The sliding, the throws. That one to Jerome Ford. That long one to Jerome Ford. We all saw it, and we're like, take off, run. And he kept his eyes down the field. He finds Jerome Ford, who had a career game yesterday. Dude, what a beast Jerome Ford is.
Thank you.
You're wearing your Cincinnati jersey for him today. Wearing your Cincy jersey.
I always
go ahead with your take. Sauce Gardner was not the best Bearcat on that field.
He wasn't. He was good. No, but Jerome Ford put the Bearcats on the map.
And Flacco kind of mentioned this in postgame, where he said, I came into this team and they embraced me, but give credit to Flacco for he came in and just said, I'm going to just join this team. Like, I'm going to slide and fit into this offense. And I know he missed that one on Ced Tillman. And to see Flacco, you saw him yelling. And that gave me, it kind of showed like the confidence. Because if you're a new guy, and I know he's a Super Bowl winner and he's a veteran, but he didn't come in here and he's like, well, I'm just going to kind of sit back and he's like, no, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take a hold of this offense. We're going to get this done together. And I'm going to hold you guys to a high standard here. And if Ced Tillman who had inside leverage, just missed the throw, okay, fine. But still, to see Flacco's leadership, and we've heard that from a lot of the other players about what he has meant from a leadership standpoint to this team, let alone the confidence, a little like wave of relief that you felt. Because make no mistake, you are going to the playoffs because of Joe Flacco. Not even just because of his play, but I think the confidence that he has brought, the fact that I can sit here and believe that a 38-year-old quarterback coming off the couch is going to go win me football games in the NFL. I have that confidence. You have that confidence. We're going to go to a playoff game in 2 weeks believing that Joe Flacco will lead us to a win. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible to watch. Dude, David Njoku, I have made this statement about a couple of players. Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb. I'm about to put Amari Cooper on that list, and it is now David Njoku. You give him that life contract. I don't want to see him play anywhere else ever again. And it's not even just the 134 and all the other plays that he had. It's that video of him going to that kid. And you can see the excitement that he has, the excitement that he has for this town. And I know that rosters will always be turning over. And I'm not trying to get like sappy sentimental here on this. And I know GMs can't operate that way. But don't ever forget that this team is for you. This team is for me. This team is for our family. This team is for Browns Nation. And when there are players that mean more to us. That should factor in. And I think David Njoku is now on that list of a player that means a lot to us. And again, you know that list of guys that are already there. Batonio, certainly. Wyatt Teller's on that list too. But now, David Njoku, I don't ever want to see him play football for anybody else. Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Mari Cooper, Joel Batonio, I know. I'd like to see Wyatt Teller finish things out here. There are guys that it's just going to mean more to them as much as it means to us because they've gone through it, but also they're a part of our town now.
Yeah.
They're forever a part of our town. I know they're from different areas of the country. They didn't grow up here, but they're now a part of our town, and I don't ever want to see them go anywhere else. I don't.
I'll tell you, Matt, you know your team is in such a good spot when, like you said, you have players like David Njoku, like Nick Chubb. You know, we thought it was going to be Deshaun Watson, maybe next year and in the future.
And
but these multiple guys
sure.
that you look at them and you say, wow, these guys are potentially the face of the franchise. They talk to the fans. They interact with them. They're on social media. You know, they just are everything Cleveland is about. And to have multiple guys on a team at once that embody everything that we love, it's so special. And it's just been a whole culmination of this season last night.
It was. And I think even just talking about the game, that was kind of how the Browns have won over the last month. You played good defense, Flacco went out of his mind, and you were able to run the ball when you needed to. That brand, I think, carries. I think what the Browns have been able to establish and what they've been able to do, I now sit here thinking we're going to be like, dude, I'll tell you this right now. I know we got a little football to play. If it is Jacksonville, we're winning that football game, man. I don't want to get into if we're going to be favored or not in Vegas because we know that the money's involved with that and all that kind of stuff. I'm not scared of the Jags. I'm not scared of I think you can take it to almost any team, and you have, right? We beat the 49ers this year. We have beat the Baltimore Ravens this year. And the AFC playoffs are how it lays out. Like, there is a real world that the AFC championship is possible. Dare I say, God, oh man, we went to the Super Bowl. Could you believe that? It's real. It is tangible. This is great.
Matt,
like I feel so good. This is so amazing.
I look at a game like yesterday and how big it was on the national stage to clinch that playoff berth. And whatever happens this season, right? Obviously, we all have high expectations now. But beyond that, I mean, you got to imagine everybody watching that game, especially NFL players, who wouldn't want to come play in Cleveland after seeing that?
Yeah.
I mean, that is a game right there that just sets franchises apart. And now I'm thinking, who in their right mind wouldn't want to come to Cleveland and play in a Browns uniform after seeing that environment last night?
Well, and even just the core group of guys that you know are going to be here. You have established that culture. What we have searched for so long, what we have been trying to get here. And again, I'm not discrediting the players like from a talent, physical standpoint, but culture will take you so much further. And you just look around the league, right, of teams that have possibilities or they have openings and they lay a dud because do they really believe? Do you take the field every day, every night, every game, saying we have a chance to win? The Browns now believe that. And whatever happens next week, like, trust me, I'd love nothing more than the Dolphins to get a win. You know, you're going to, I guess, try to get a bye one way or another. Either you fight for that number 1 seed or you use next week as your bye, and that's assured, and get everybody the rest that you need to. Those are good problems to have, and I can't wait to have that conversation next week. But the Browns are playing a brand of football in a belief that they can take it to anybody. And you still, again, you had to do that game without Amari Cooper, which is incredible, and we certainly hope the best for Elijah Moore. That was definitely a scary moment there. But you got an opportunity to get some guys a little bit healthier, get them ready to go for a playoff run here. Don't forget, you might be getting Grant Delpit back at some point, maybe Anthony Walker, maybe Obo Okoronkwo. You know, there might be a few reinforcements coming here, too, for where the Browns are at. They believed last night that they were going to win that football game, and they throttled them. They absolutely throttled them. And they're going to go into that playoff game in a couple weeks with the same belief to make that and get it done. Want to post this on Twitter. We got a lot of people with us this morning, maybe for the first time. We first off very much appreciate you joining us on a Victory Friday, holiday weekend Victory Friday. This is great. So we appreciate everybody. Drop us a follow at Matt Fontana Show on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're also up on YouTube. We're on the Big Play channel on YouTube, but we're also on the Matt Fontana Show YouTube page as well. We'll send this out on our Twitter, Ryan. We're just going to ask everybody, describe this season. Describe this season for us. You want to do in 3 words or less?
Yeah, I put it. It's actually up there right now. Describe the Browns season in 3 words or less. Matt, if we want to take a crack at it, I got my 3 words.
All right, go ahead. You're already fired up, ready to go.
My 3 words, and I think this is a majority vote. Extend Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, I trust me. Trust me. Listen. I'm not going to get angry about it because today is not a day for anger. Today's a day for just happiness and excitement. Where I understand, I say this truthfully, I understand the people in the group that just want to hate, okay? Because that's all you've known. It's all you've ever been given, and you've only ever been shown after decades that the coaches here don't work. This guy works, okay? This guy's going to probably go win Coach of the Year now. I would think so. Yes, sir. This guy works. And if you can't understand why, then you never will. And you want to know what? That's fine. And that's okay. Because you want to know what I'm about to say? He ain't going nowhere. So you better deal with it.
I ain't leaving.
He ain't leaving. He's not going. He's going to sit down after the season and put pen to paper on a nice little contract extension. Cha-ching. He's probably going to get a nice pay raise too. I would imagine that will be part of the deal there.
I'll give Kevin Stefanski $1.
Yeah, I'm sure we could crowdfund quite a little bit. Could you imagine? I thought about this. This is weird. About yesterday, they were doing the jersey exchange, which is really cool and awesome from Dude Wipes. Could you imagine if there was like a Stefanski jersey?
Like, I would so get that.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he would have so many. I don't know what it is. Like, do we all go buy the polo or that? He kind of wears like the performance
I wish I was
t-shirt
him
or something
for
like
Halloween.
that.
I have to wait till next year. I'm gonna be Kevin
Do
Stefanski.
it. I mean,
for Halloween.
trust me. Get the headset, little gray in the beard there. Trust me, Kev. I'm joining you, man. But there be Kevin Stefanski jerseys left and right in this. If there was such a thing. His evenness, his even-keeledness has been one of the things, but also don't get it lost here either. He is a great offensive mind, and he has found a way to do it with a lot of different quarterbacks and a lot of different players, and he had to flip his offense in the middle of the season, really after the middle of the season, to a 38-year-old quarterback. And you watch him put up, what is it now, 4 straight 300-yard games.
Yes, sir.
Setting these records for them, or not necessarily records, but on the leaderboards, right, of the most yards.
Well, he's setting a lot of personal records for himself, which is insane.
So the one thing I saw this morning was he's now 3rd all-time in NFL history for the most passing yards in the first 5 games with a team. Only Kirk Cousins and Drew Bledsoe were ahead of him. And then he fell like 80-odd some yards, something like that, short of Peyton Manning for setting the record for the most passing yards in a month in NFL history. Let that sink in. The most yards in a single calendar month in NFL history. Joe Flacco, at 38, off of his couch, gave Peyton Manning a scare for that record.
I love the world. I love the world.
Think about that. And Flacco, a lot of credit. Players, a lot of credit. But still, the scheme, the play calling, the offense that has been run from Kevin Stefanski cannot be lost in this.
Matt, it might be time to have this conversation.
Sure.
Is Kevin Stefanski the best head coach in terms of orchestrating opening drives?
I mean, he's up there, right?
I've never seen anything like it.
He's up there, and the same thing with Brown's history, right? So he's already tied Belichick, and he's the first coach since Marty to have 2 playoff appearances. Certainly the best coach that we've had since 1999. I mean, all of these things. And, you know, the pie in the sky for me a little bit is I kind of feel like we're just getting started. Like, and it's weird because I know he took them to the playoffs in 2020. Excuse me. Screaming to start the show is probably not a good idea because I got this and I got a 5.5 hour show tomorrow night on ESPN. 5.5. Join me tomorrow night, by the way. I'm going to shoehorn so much Browns into ESPN National tomorrow. It's not even going to be funny. So we got to work on the voice here today. Anyway, like the beginning, it feels like the start of something. And I know, again, 2020, they went, but like, you feel like a lot of the core players are still going to be here. You know Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry are still going to be here. You have turned the tide. Some of the hardest things to do in sports is to turn the tide, is to turn the ship back into the storm and to fight through it, and the Browns did it. They got, dude, almost everything that you could have imagined, they got thrown at them this season. Where I know the COVID season was a whole different ball of wax, right? That was a whole different challenge, okay? And everybody in the league had to deal with it. But the fact of what the Browns had to overcome this year. And the other thing, like, we sit here, dude, you didn't back your way into the playoffs. You didn't have somebody else lose for you to make it. You are at worst going to finish 11-6. And you have locked in the 5 seed. Because that's another thing. A lot of people are asking, like, what's going on? You are in the 5 seed. There is no question on that. The only thing that can change is if Baltimore loses out their next 2 games and we win our last game against Cincinnati, you get the number 1
Could
seed.
you imagine?
And win the AFC North.
Oh, my God.
I made that proclamation to start the season. I said that was my bold prediction. We're going to win the division. Because we hadn't done it in forever. You got to look at it still. You got to, and that, like, that's all, like, at this point, like, secondary. Dude, we're in it. And there's a school of thought that you are a Super Bowl contender if you make the playoffs because you're in. And I know that our odds are still, what, plus 2,000, I think, something like that, or plus 3,000.
Yeah,
it moved up, something like that, whatever. And I get it. And Vegas is not Browns fans, so they're going to look at it and say, okay, how long? But it's kind of also that game last night. You expect the magic to keep, it's going to run out eventually. And it's not. And it's not. And I didn't want to think about it. Whatever happens here is gravy. Well, everything here from on out is just house money. And I want them to win that playoff game. I really, frankly, don't, outside of potentially the number 1 seed. But it's like that Cincinnati game doesn't mean anything at this point to me. I'm just basking in all this glory. Like, I just sit here, and 2020 was great. It's so weird, though, to talk about it. Because I was going to make the statement, this is legitimately the happiest I've ever been as a Browns fan. Seriously. This is the happiest that I've ever been. And I think the reason I don't say that about 2020 is because of the world that we lived in 2020. That was not a happy time. That was a really hard time in our lives, in our world, right? People were getting sick, businesses shutting down, not being able to go to the games, all that stuff. So I think that, and the Browns made it sweet because you kind of were that escape. But this is so much better because people were there and we got to celebrate and people were with family and people went out to the bars and people are going to go out to the bars tonight and they're going to celebrate New Year's and all that. This is the happiest I've ever been as a Browns fan. This is literally the peak of my fandom. And where it goes from here, I don't really care because I'm on the mountain. I'm at the top of the mountain right now. And I know that there's still room for us to climb and go up. But this is legitimate, the best that I've ever felt. And I've gotten excited over draft picks before. You know, you get excited about games individually and all that kind of stuff. This is the most fun and the happiest that I've ever been as a Browns fan. It's there's so many thank yous to go out, right? There's so many thank yous. The players, the coaches, the organization, the front office. And it took them time. You know what I mean? Like, it took them some time, and there was that weird transition period, and how we felt like last year. And at the end of the day, this could be the 1 year thing, and I don't feel that. I feel like there's a lot to grab onto for years to come from now and all that. But like Flacco, like you just add that to it. It's a little bit of everything. It's the happiness, it's the excitement, but it's also the unknown, right? It's that you went into this, you were not some juggernaut. You were not some team that was projected to do this. It's like I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. It's the shock. It's the shock and awe that adds to it that makes you feel that much better as a Browns fan this morning. It's great. It's absolutely incredible. We're going to have Reflog. I haven't even mentioned Reflog is going to join us here coming up literally in a couple of minutes here. So, of course, Big Play Cleveland show. We wanted to have him on just certainly as a Browns fan, a lifelong fan, just to celebrate the day today. So he's going to come up here in a little bit. We're going to do Sonny Gupta, Tipico, 10:15 because we got a full slate of college games. We got Ohio State tonight. Of course, the semifinals coming up on Monday and a big slate of pro games on Sunday. So Sonny's going to come up at 10:15. We're still going to get to all of our NFL picks coming up. We'll get to all of it coming up throughout the show. We'll take you up to 11 o'clock, and we bring in, of course, Refly. Dude, I just say congratulations, man. As a Browns fan, I just feel like we're all high-fiving. We're celebratory this morning. Hey, congratulations to you, man. I know you're on cloud nine just like the rest of us.
Matt, what a great day, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, for Cleveland, for the city, I was there last night. The energy was just off the chart. It was unbelievable from start to finish. The city of Cleveland deserves this. The city of Cleveland got it last night. And I'll tell you what, I'm still on cloud nine, as you said.
Dude, I said this is the happiest I think I've ever been as a Browns fan. I mean, 2020 was great and exciting, but I've never felt this way with the Cleveland Browns before, ever.
Well, in 2020, there was nobody there, right? There weren't a lot of people in attendance. Last night, the house was packed. I mean, people were there early. They took the cues from JW from the Browns to show up early to see Nick Chubb smash the guitar.
Dude, he destroyed that guitar too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, everything that they did, the whole production from start to finish was really well done by the Browns. But the most important part, on the field, right? We responded. We're in a big spot, Thursday night football, national TV, knew the playoffs were on the line. Joe Flacco and co get it done. I mean, that's the kind of response you want to see from your team. And that's what we got last night. And like I said before, we really deserve it as a fan base. It just feels so good to finally be here.
You know, and I think to talk about Flacco for a second, because we discussed him a lot this morning, just it's a story. It is literally a movie that you found this guy on his couch playing with his kids, getting his brother ready for the XFL, and you bring him in, and he goes on one of the most historic month runs in football history and wins a game to go take the Browns to the playoffs. I'm sure that there's some screenwriter out there right now writing a movie about it. The only question I have is who plays Joe Flacco?
I like that. I haven't given that much thought.
I got to think about that.
I'm going to have to work on that
one.
But I'll tell you, I even love the B stories with him. I just saw, and I was off social media outside of just posting yesterday because I was at the game. I just saw he fell asleep at some point on the sideline. How fantastic is that? I love this guy. You know, he's got so many kids and it's Christmas time. As a parent, I'm just as tired as he is. So I get it. I fall asleep at work all the time. Not when playoffs are on the line. And he did that. Then he sticks around after he falls asleep during the game. He sticks around afterwards for the fans. And there's great video of him interacting with the fans, with his kids. I mean, the story is so great from start to finish. It's going to be on Disney Plus at some point, right?
Yeah.
We're going to stream this thing in a few years. Man, that was a great time back there. And Joe Flacco has reinvigorated everybody.
You know, to talk about that, Reflog join us, of course, Big Play Cleveland show, Monday nights here on Big Play. It's on Bally's. It's everywhere. Check it out. I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this one next week on the show. But the other thing is, you know, kind of off of Flacco, but with David Njoku and some of the guys on this team that have been just so ingratiated to this city and they care and you could see their passion. That's the other stuff, in my opinion, that just makes this that much sweeter is you have a bunch of guys that do want to play hard for this town.
And they care about the town.
Yeah.
They want to live here. They want to be here. You look at Myles Garrett investing in the Cleveland Cavaliers. He gets it. There's so many guys on this team that seem to really get the culture of Cleveland and really embrace it. And I think that's a departure from the past. When we were putting together teams, we kind of bring in some veterans to buttress what was kind of a weak core. And you wouldn't end up with really that feel of a team that cared about the city as much as the city cares about the team. And you've got it here. And what's amazing to me out of all of this is a guy like Joe Flacco, who has just been dropped in here from a competitor, from his couch, and he gets it. You can tell he really appreciates and embraces the fans, embraces the city in just a short amount of time. And I think that not only to him, but also to Cleveland and what we are as a passionate fan base. Like, people get it. Even when we were losing, people got it. People understood that football mattered in this town. And now we get to see some of the fruits of the labor, and we get to do it with guys who really appreciate what we've got as a fan base. And that's what we all deserve.
Reflog joining us here this morning. Of course, you were at the game. Just talk about that. Njoku with some massive plays. Jerome Ford had a career game. We talked so much about Flacco just kind of moving the pocket. What were some of the things just for the game itself that really you took away as a positive for the Browns?
Before we even get on the field, I do have to tell the story about turning in the jerseys.
Oh,
because
yeah,
that's kind
that's
of
right.
become a big national story, right?
Yeah.
So I had kind of reached out to the guys at Dude Wipes and said, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. Could I get a jersey? And they said, sure, stop on by. Come by about 3 o'clock. It starts at 5:30. So I thought, hey, this is cool. I'm going to get, a free jersey and walk away. I get down there and they said, well, no. You got to wait in line too, because we don't want people thinking we're just giving away jerseys, which I completely understood. So I stood in the line. I was about 52 in line, and that was at 3 o'clock. This thing's supposed to start at 5:30 to give you an idea of how many people were already lined up. That line went all the way back down the road, down to the Otto Graham statue, and turned right. I mean, there were a ton of people here. They only gave away 100. And there were well over 100 people in there. And you had, of course, your Manziel jerseys. You had your Baker Mayfield jerseys. Deshaun Kaiser jerseys that people were turning in. It was wild. But I talked to some great people in line. It was a lot of fun kind of commiserating over those bad years and really celebrating what we had. People turned in their jerseys, got fresh, clean jerseys. It was pretty cool. And then you kind of take that into the stadium and that kind of energy of like, hey, this is refreshing. This is a new Cleveland Browns. This is a new way forward. And you saw them respond on the field like you were saying. That first half, Matt, that was incredible.
Yeah.
That was incredible. You saw Flacco throwing it all over the place. You saw Ford both running and receiving the ball. And I'll tell you what, the way he finished plays, that touchdown where you thought, okay, got us down to the 5, that's great. He makes that extra effort, gets into the end zone. I mean, Elijah Moore shows up. We called it here with Typico, right? That was our big boost.
Dude, 2 weeks in a row we got it. Yeah.
Flacco over 250. We said Elijah Moore touchdown. We said Browns win. I put down $50 of my soft earned money. I earned $550
Hell yeah,
yesterday.
Man.
Not only did the Browns win on the field, but I won. Thank you, Typico. There's a shout out to the sponsor.
We hit our boost last week. We hit our Cavs boost on Wednesday with them, and then I'm right there with you. I put a couple of dollars down in a big winner last night on our boost, so we're riding hot for the weekend. Use that code BIGPLAY100 when you sign up at Typico. Reflog, I mean, when we talk about Kevin Stefanski, and like, there's always going to be that group of people that are just, he's the Browns head coach, so they're going to be haters or they're just not going to like it. The job that he has done, we all expect that extension in this offseason, but to see him elevate this team, the play calling that he has done, it's one of the best coaching jobs I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I think people forget now coming into the season, there was a very vocal, I'd say majority of people who had him well suited on the hot seat coming in. And there was a lot of question marks, myself included, about play calling, about what he's really doing with the offense. And now, boy, with all the injuries, the way he's navigated everything, I think all of those questions have been answered for Kevin Stefanski. He's been able to do this without, Deshaun Watson, without Nick Chubb, without key defensive players, without a kicker and a punter yesterday.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
Who has that happen, right? Only in Cleveland, Matt, that we don't have a kicker and a punter in our biggest game of the year. And somehow he's navigated. He's gotten us into the playoffs, and hell, there's even a chance we may even win the AFC North.
So that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about you next. Like, we're going to be hard rooting here for the Baltimore Ravens to lose on Sunday to the Dolphins, and I kind of got that debate of like, do we use next week as our bye? And obviously, we'll have an idea come Sunday because if the Ravens lose, it's going to be all bets are on with that. But that excitement to say, like, dude, we're going to have not the Chiefs. Not the Bills. The Cleveland Browns are the team on the Ravens' rear end to get the #1 seed. It's insane.
Yeah, and I'd be scared. If I'm anybody else in the league, if I'm the Ravens, you look at the way the Browns are playing, momentum is so big in this league. The Browns have got momentum. They've got swagger. They've got the heart. We showed it again last night that we could play with anybody. And with this defense, now that it started to travel, I was really heartened by what they did last week against the Texans. You started to see it on the road. There were questions about whether this defense was really going to travel. Conventional wisdom is defense travels. The Browns hadn't done it. Now, last week, we started to see it. We're going to have to probably travel a lot in the playoffs, hopefully a lot. Hopefully it's to multiple sites, to be honest with you.
Right.
And if we do, I'm way more confident as we sit right now, Matt, that defense is going to translate onto the road games.
Absolutely. And I think, too, again, even if last night was the final home game of the year, they saved the right game for it. They really paid it off for all the fans. Dude, so quick list here on the Flacco movie. John Hamm might be the leader in the clubhouse for me.
That's it. That's it. I think you nailed it.
I Googled, no joke, I Googled tall actors with beards. Matthew McConaughey, John Hamm, John Krasinski, Chris Evans.
No McConaughey. You can't go McConaughey.
Not McConaughey? Okay. What about Hugh Jackman?
He's not driving a Buick, and he's not philosophical. That's not his thing, man. He's there. He's playing with the kids. Everybody loves him. You got to have that kind of mentality. None of the McConaughey stuff.
All right. What about Hugh Jackman? Get done with Wolverine and go do that.
He's a little too cut, I think.
Okay.
Joe's a little bit more of an everyman here. Let's be honest.
I love it. All right, so we're going to go John Hamm for the running for now, and then if we find anybody else, we'll figure that out. Great stuff, man. Really appreciate it. Reflog Show. Check it out. Big Play Cleveland. They're on Bally's. Follow Reflog on Twitter. Congratulations, by the way, on getting the Twitter back. I know that was a big fight there with Elon for a little bit.
Just in time for this playoff run, man.
Perfect. Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, and congrats to you.
Yes.
Congrats to the show. This is big for everybody in Cleveland. I just love it. I've been telling people for years how big it is. And you remember when the Browns are in the playoffs, it's just a different feel from the beginning to end, to the way you wake up, to the way you go to bed at night, to the way you go to work. I mean, everything is just so taken to another level when the Browns are good and the Browns are in the playoffs. And it's so good to have that feeling again, And
on a Friday that I got nothing but football to watch for 4 days, and I get to just sit back and lay on the couch and know that I can just bask in the glory of the Browns winning. It's going to be great. We appreciate it, bro.
So do the Buckeyes win tonight?
I think so. I mean, I'm not. This game is so much bigger for Missouri. This is everything for them. I don't think it's everything for Ohio State, but Ohio State's got to have better players, right? They just got, even with Marvin Harrison not playing, which I don't think he will, they just have to have better players, right? 4 is the spread. I'm with our friends at Tipico. Who do you like tonight?
Yeah, I like the Buckeyes to cover. I treat these games now, if you're not in the playoff, you treat it as kind of a spring game too. You get to see what Devin Brown's going to do, what the next crowd is going to do coming up. Like you said, Marvin Harrison probably not playing. So I'll be interested to see what we get from a quarterback standpoint, what the offense is able to do, what that defense is going to continue to build upon, and see what we have for next year. And that's the way that these bowl games are for me. Unless you're in the playoffs, you're really looking at next year and looking at trying out some of these younger guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it, bro. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll be catching you next week on the Big Play Cleveland Show, all right?
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
There he goes. Reflog. Follow him on Twitter, reflog_18. Ooh, Mike tweets us. George Clooney.
Okay.
All right.
I could listen to that. I could listen to that.
I could listen to that. Now, the thing is, Flacco and Stefanski look so much alike that whoever you don't cast for Flacco, you can just cast for Stefanski. That's how it works. I thought maybe Ben Affleck for a second. I don't know. Could be one of those guys. Somebody choose. You're going to make a movie about making the playoffs? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I am. Yeah,
Thanks.
We are.
And I'm going to watch it 20,000
We got cameras.
times.
We'll do it here at Big Play. Ooh, get Daniel Day-Lewis out of retirement from Jonas. That'd be a tough ask.
Who plays Andrew Barry?
Idris Elba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they look a lot alike.
You think?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. You got to give somebody that has that. Andrew Barry's got one. I joked about this years ago. The Browns have the best bearded team in football.
They do.
Andrew Barry's got a hell of a beard. Kevin Stefanski got a hell of a beard. Now you got Flacco, which even adds to it. At that point, they had Baker, because this was my mark. They had Odell, Jarvis, Baker, Clowney. Anthony Walker has a stunningly, amazingly beard.
Yes, he does.
Stump Mitchell's got one of the best beards in all of football. And then Stefanski and Andrew Barry, best bearded team in the league, man. Can't question that. So you got to find some guys with some beards. That's just what's going to have to happen. And then again, you add it with Flacco. I think that's really helped things there too.
Our Twitter inbox blowing up with these 3 words or less. I'm loving some of them.
Run through some. We've been
really
neglecting the fans this morning, so we want to hear from you.
Yeah, no.
Run through some of those. At Matt Fontana Show, we're asking everybody in 3 words or less. Describe how you feel about this season.
Yeah, let's see. Ken Galvin and at Stimpy41, both. I really like this one, Matt. Next man up.
It has to be that, and I know that that's coaches speak, and coaches have all these sayings and these phrases. The thing is, do they believe it? Right? The best coaches in any sport get their teams to believe in what they're saying. They have to be pitchmen to start. You got to buy what I'm selling. And you will hear from players, sometimes after their careers when they really start to speak truthfully. And they'll talk about coaches and they'll say, we knew that guy was full of crap, okay? We knew that guy was either two-faced. Say that on some of the coaches that have been around here in the past. I don't want to name names. You have coaches that, frankly, are spineless sometimes, or like all these different things, right? These coaches that don't preach what they say, they don't practice what they preach, or they don't believe in what they're saying. Where Kevin Stefanski, is he Dan Campbell, where he's sitting there with his 2 mega-sized Starbucks cups, ripping kneecaps and biting butt cheeks and all that stuff? No, he's not that kind of guy. But there's different ways to do it where this team is believing in what he is selling. They are believing in what he is saying. And you got to do that through consistency. You got to do that certainly through winning, but you also have to be the same guy. Because in a locker room, I don't want this to get lost either. In a locker room where there are multimillionaires and grown-ass professional athlete men in that locker room, you are going to get found out. If you are phony, if you treat people differently, if you say one thing to one person and say another to another, you are going to get found out. And in this season where you had to have that next man up mentality, that would be nothing if they weren't believing in their head coach. That would mean nothing if they didn't actually practice that. If they didn't look to the other guys, you could sit there and be like, dude, we got to start Ronnie Hickman. Wait a minute, who we got starting at right tackle now? We got to turn it over to this guy in the receiving core? No, you don't have that. It's the belief in this team, and it starts with that coach. That starts with that coach. So, yes, next man up has certainly been this season, but don't forget, they got to buy that. They got to buy that and buy into that, and they did that.
Some other good ones. Our guy Rob Watson, never go away. Jay Dean, just win, baby. Michael Bonnick, roller coaster ride, and Mem Official, Super Bowl bound.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're going to have a look at it. We're certainly going to have a look at it with how this Cleveland Browns team is laid out. And the fun part, it's been a big chunk of Joe Flacco. It has been a big part of what Joe Flacco has meant to this team. Let's get to our sound, because I want to hear from Kevin Stefanski. We'll hear from Joe Flacco as well following the game. And we'll start right there. Kevin Stefanski, he's been in this league a long time. He's been with the Cleveland Browns quite a little bit. I want to start with Stefanski here, Ryan. I want to hear his opening statement. This is Coach Stefanski for the first time sitting down, speaking with the media after the Browns' big win yesterday. Here's Coach, courtesy of the Browns.
A pretty special night for this organization, pretty special night for the fans out there. They were ready to roll from the jump. They were huge tonight, huge all season long, so appreciate that from our crowd, with us through it all. And then organizationally, it's a big deal when you can clinch and make that and earn that second season. Obviously, we got a bunch of work to do, and we'll focus on that. But for the moment, proud of this football team, proud of those guys for battling through a bunch of adversity, both tonight and this season. But we'll finish strong next week, and then we'll see what comes.
I mean, the work is not done, as he said there, and to finish strong, but he gave the fans a lot of the credit, as he certainly should, and I appreciate that. Like, they dive into that. That is a weapon that they should be able to use for the home field advantage, and coach and the organization. I mean, again, for the things that they do for the fans, and I know it can get, they increase the rates, all that other kind of stuff, they buy into the fan base. They really do. Here's Coach Stefanski after the game talking about one Joe Flacco.
You guys know, just having watched Joe now, and we as coaches are getting to know Joe and that type of thing, but he's a he battles like crazy. I think he's doing a nice job of playing within himself and playing within the scheme and all those type of things. But he's also making plays, and there were a bunch of plays that he made tonight that were key.
Give you one guess, Ryan, what I really took away from that cut right there. Did you hear the same thing that I heard?
Was that?
Playing within the scheme.
Yeah.
Playing within the scheme. It would have been easy for Flacco to come in here with the weight of the world on his shoulders, feeling like he's got to do it all. Just playing the scheme. Just playing the scheme. Get the ball to your playmakers. Find ways to score points. And the thing is, the Browns are not winning these games 14-10. They're not only putting up 13 points a game. Dude, we're running with some of the best offensive numbers, in this stretch right here. You're putting up points left and right. You're doing it with a lot of different guys. And I'm not about to sit here and be like, we could really push the San Francisco 49ers for weapons. That is what makes it even that much more incredible what the offense, play calling, and Flacco has done. They're doing, this is no disrespect at all. You are doing it with sometimes backup running backs. You're doing this with third-string wide receivers. David Njoku is a legitimate top 5 tight end. You have that, and you are taking advantage of that.
No question.
You turn Jerome Ford into something. Turn that. Before Elijah Moore got hurt, unfortunately, last night, he was having on the way to what I thought was going to be one of his better games. Like, you're doing that. Again, could you imagine if Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel were on this team? Think about that. You are doing it in a different brand of football. You are doing it in a much different way offensively, and you are putting up some gaudy-ass numbers. Massive numbers there for Joe Flacco in the game, and really for the rest of the offense. Final thing from Coach Stefanski here. He gave a little credit to Andrew Berry, rightly so. The question was about when do you start to believe that this could be a playoff team, but he started talking about the job the Browns general manager has done. Here's Coach Stefanski following the game.
It's a credit to Andrew and his crew. We have talented football players in this team. And we've had obviously our depth has been tested in different areas throughout the season. But I think it's a really strong roster. I think we have an unbelievable coaching staff that I get to work with every single day. So felt good about this team. Now, you don't know in this NFL, my God, there's things that happen you can't predict. Not even you, Tony. So for us to just stay the course throughout the season, I'm proud of this team.
This is a talented team. And it's crazy because if I just printed the roster of who took the field for the Cleveland Browns yesterday, and then I printed the roster from 2020 when we made it, you'd be like, oh, the 2020 team would smoke this team, right? You would believe that. But still, the fact that they're not void of talent. And there have been, trust me, plenty of years that you look around, you've been void of a lot of talent. It's not just the talent, but it's the fact that they've been able to actually use the talent. They've actually been able to get the most out of these players in different ways. And one of those guys is Joe Flacco. Let's hear Flacco after the game. Question was, man, dude, you heard those chants. How cool is that to hear some chants of Joe Flacco coming down from Cleveland Browns Stadium? Here's Flacco after the game.
It's cool. I mean, just put yourself in that position. I mean, you can't deny it. I said it from the very beginning. I mean, the city's been unbelievable. My teammates have been unbelievable, like in terms of just embracing me onto this football team. So it's all been great, and it makes it that much more special to be able to come in here and play some good football.
Doing it in front of his family. I know the video that he's sitting there talking to the fans. His kids are there. They're all in the Flacco jerseys. Dude. Like, I'm not trying to rush things, but we will look back so fondly on Joe Flacco. For a guy that whipped our ass for so many years, that won so many games for the Ravens at our stadium, you will forever look back on Joe Flacco and have a smile on your face. You will think about these games that he has won, that he has elevated this team. I don't know if that has ever happened. Like, think about, and granted, he's not Ben Roethlisberger, because I think Ben Roethlisberger will go down as like one of the biggest Browns villains of all time, right? But has there ever been a situation like this in sports where a guy that tormented you for so long came in and then was a savior to your team and went from, again, not necessarily public enemy number one, but we'd carry him down East 9th on a throne right now if we could. I don't know if I've ever, like when the Browns signed Jamal Lewis, remember we signed him away from the Ravens, frankly, because we couldn't stop him? Like, I guess that's cool. This is different, though. And I really, it's like somebody going from the Red Sox to the Yankees and turning things around. And then you add in the fact, like, he's not in the prime of his, playing like he's in the prime of his career. But, he's 38. He's kind of towards the end of his career. I can't really think of anything that could compare to what the Joe Flacco saga has been here. That goes back to our movie. Dude, we got a lot. Spaz says Joe can just play himself. He'll do his own stunts. Jason tweets Hugh Jackman. Sven on Twitter says Ryan Reynolds. Hoop says Keanu Reeves. Bill is with me on John Krasinski. Pack on Twitter says Affleck. I'm in for that. Somebody tweeted, they go, just have Stefanski play.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Somebody said Shane Falco. That'd be Keanu. A lot of Keanu Reeves. Jason Segel, Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid, Kurt Warner. Well, Kurt Warner had a movie. Zachary Levi played him. I guess we could roll that back over a little bit there. Got another one for Clooney. Shout out to Michaela.
I think my pick is Clooney.
Chris Hemsworth. I don't know who Ian Somerhalder is.
He was a big heartthrob. He was on like Vampire Diaries. He's like a really good looking dude.
Okay, I could see that. All right, I could see him as Flacco. I could get that. I'm in for that. Dude, because Reflog tagged me in this. In 2 seconds, I had 75 mentions. Ooh, Chief says a little Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
I like that.
I could see it.
Okay. All right. So John tweets Paul Rudd, but he's not tall enough. Flacco's a tall guy. Paul Rudd can't do that. Tweets, he goes, only the greatest actor of our generation. Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Yes. See, somebody said Cillian Murphy. I know everybody's on Oppenheimer right now. You know what? Dude, you know what? It might be Cillian Murphy.
You think?
Yeah. And then he could do a movie about Tyler Glass now after that.
I was going to say, if for those who don't know, go look up Cillian Murphy, Tyler Glass.
Oh, they are the same person.
Those are twins. Those are twins.
They are the same person there. Got a lot of good answers on it, Uncle Rico's. Somebody goes, Uncle Rico, nobody's got that arm strength, man.
Facts. That's facts.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I still think John Hamm might be the answer, though. That was the initial gut reaction that we had.
I like John Hamm, and then my other is George
Chris
Clooney.
Pratt. Yeah, I like Clooney. I think I'm down to Hamm or Clooney. And again, you need somebody else to play Stefanski in this thing.
Yeah.
So, we got options. We got a lot of options there for the movie. It's going to get made. It's going to get made. Somebody will do that. We'll do it here, like I've mentioned.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, let's do this. You want to catch a break? Let's do this. We'll catch a break. We come back. I want to dive back into the Browns. Then we'll go right into Sonny. Sonny's going to join us at 10:15. We got college games. We got pro games. We're going to make some money this weekend here on Tipico. Folks, we tell you about our friends at Tipico. They're the absolute best. Use that code BIGPLAY100. Here's what you do. You deposit and bet $25. What did I tell you last night? Just bet Browns money line. Now, granted, they covered. But you bet that $25. You'll win that back. You'll win your winnings, and you're going to get $100 in bonus bets to use on whatever you want. And, dude, we're getting spicy now on the boosts. Getting good on the boosts.
I'm telling you, Joe Flacco and the Browns right now are feeding families.
I love it.
It's amazing.
We're getting on it.
It's amazing.
So when you sign up, use the code BIGPLAY100, and you can join us all season long. Tipico is one of our great sponsors here, along with a lot of our friends at Garage Beer. I wanted to crack a beer this morning, man, let me tell you. But Tipico is with us on all of our shows. We have Sonny on from Tipico. He's the sportsbook manager. He gets you the insight that you want to know. I love the interface. I love the boost. They're the best. Big Play 100. When you sign up with Tipico, Big Play 100, and you can just sit back and baste and marinate yourself in football for the next 4 days, knowing the Browns have already won. Place your wagers on Ohio State tonight. I got a parlay rolling. I already got a parlay for Monday. Let me tell you what it is. I think I just went. I think I just went money line, and I went Washington, Alabama to win on Monday. Those were my bets. Washington, Alabama to get the wins on Monday. So that's a little parlay I got rolling this weekend with Tipico. Download it. Use that code BIGPLAY100, and we'll get to our bets a little bit later. All right, let's catch a break. We got plenty more Browns to go. We'll get to your 3 words to describe the season, and we are rocking and we are living, baby, on a Victory Friday right here on Big Play. All right, we're just doing our movie casting this week. We had Reflog on. He sent it back out, our question of who should play Flacco in the Disney movie that's going to get made. A lot of Daniel Day-Lewis. Joe Manganiello is another one that came up. That gets me down a whole wormhole on DC and what should have been.
Who remind me.
He was going to be Deathstroke. Remember the deleted scene after Justice League? He gets on the boat.
I haven't seen Justice League. Yeah. I haven't. I'm gonna be. I know because I just don't like watching.
We've been doing this show for 4 months, and now you just drop that on me.
The only DC movies I enjoy watching are Batman because they're the only ones that are good.
It's a good Batman movie. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you're talking. He was in a Batman movie.
Snyder, Justice League.
Oh, Justice League as a whole. Yeah.
Don't watch the theatrical release. Watch the Snyder cut.
Right. Okay.
It's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Do this.
It's actually good.
It's very good.
Okay.
Sit down, pour a beverage, whatever you do, lay on the couch and watch it. I'm telling you this too, watch it all in one piece. Do it. I don't know if I'm sure you're busy this weekend. It's a busy weekend. But watch it. But he was, well, now I just spoiled. There's an after credits scene that he's in. He was supposed to play Deathstroke. Yes, Joe Manganiello, a lot of John Krasinski, another Uncle Rico. I like it all. So that's up. Reflog tweeted out from us as well. Joe Flacco getting his movie made here for the Cleveland Browns. Somebody sent that picture of Kevin James, the meme.
Yeah.
He's got a little too much weight on him there. Joe Flacco's a svelte guy. Browns head into the playoffs. The thing about playing out this weekend of where we're at, do you believe that the number one seed, I mean, right now, mathematically, yes. Now, what you have to have happen this weekend, attainable. You need the Ravens to lose to the Dolphins. I can totally see that. The thing is, the Ravens play the Steelers next week. Knowing that the further you could put, because here's how I view it. You're going to get a bye one way or another. Either you view next week against the Bengals as your true bye. I got to take on that in a second. Or you fight to get your bye for the first round of the playoffs. Pushing it back a week would always help. And here's the thing. You still have to play somebody, right? Where a bye, everybody's off. I don't have to worry about DeAnthony Bell getting hurt. I don't have to worry about Sione Takitaki getting hurt. Yes, in a game against Cincinnati, which I'm sure the Browns, that decision might be made for them come Sunday if the Ravens get a win. But you'd still have to play somebody. I'd sit Miles. I'd sit Amari. I'd sit Flacco. I'd sit Njoku. I'd sit Teller and Bateau. I'd sit all the key guys, right? But somebody's still got to play. So it's realistic. And it's still, on my horizon, but I'm also kind of like, let's maybe just pack it in against Cincinnati, get ready for a playoff game. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, the Dolphins beating Baltimore really wouldn't be that far-fetched. Is it
we'll
in
get to
Miami?
Our picks. No, it's in Baltimore.
Okay, so that kind of does damper it. But, I mean, it's like that's still a total possibility. And then you do look, odds are that the Ravens would then go ahead and beat the Steelers, but the Steelers are 4-1 in the AFC North. So, I mean, they did beat them earlier. So, I mean, nothing out of that realm is far-fetched, especially with everything we've seen unfold this season. And I'm still holding out hope. Like, everybody's going to be a Dolphins fan come Sunday. And you're right. You look at it either way. We pretty much get that bye either way. So, right now, the Browns are in a pretty good spot.
And they got the mini bye because they're going to be off this weekend. I can only imagine that they showed up at the facility today. They'll get out of there a little bit early, and the guys will have the weekend off to relax or do whatever they want to do. That's fine. Cool. I'm happy for them to be able to. So you get the mini bye at this point, of the year. That is going to help. All kind of eyes probably to Amari Cooper with the heel. We really haven't talked about that very much in this morning of just everything that went on. I was a little concerned, man, because I think we all saw the video. I mean, it looked like he was in some real pain. And I give credit to Amari Cooper for trying to play and trying to gut through it, but I got a little worried that he might not be ready for. I'll tell you this. Regardless of what happens, I'm not playing Amari Cooper next weekend against the Bengals. Even if that is a win to get a bye type thing, you might be able to beat the Bengals without him. Now Elijah Moore is a little scary right now. I'm assuming he's in the NFL concussion protocol. You want to talk about the elephant in the room?
Let's do it.
You go sign Jarvis Landry?
Yeah, I saw it. That was going around.
That is going around. And that's fan-driven. I don't know what shape he's in. He hasn't played this year. Boy, do you think about what boost that would give. Think about that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that if they came out next Tuesday or Monday or whatever day and they go, yeah, we're going to be without Elijah Moore. Might not have Amari Cooper for this game. We had to go get a receiver that knew this offense. We signed Jarvis Landry.
That would
now,
just make
wait
the
a
movie
minute.
that much sweeter.
Wait. Is there an NFL cutoff date playoff for the roster?
I'd have to imagine.
NFL playoff roster. I don't know. Can a team sign? Hang on, this is from a couple years ago. Why do I have to, everything I click on, have to accept cookies now? Every single freaking website I got to click on. All right, here's. A player with 4 or more accrued seasons whose contract is expired, he's free to sign with any club. Okay, we know that. Wait a minute. I guess he could be signed as long as he's an unrestricted free agent. Okay, here it is. This is from a while ago, but here's the line. Clubs participating in the playoffs are permitted to sign free agents throughout the postseason, but they're limited to a total of 4 free agent signing, including players on other teams' practice squads during the period that begins at 4 o'clock on the Wednesday after the final regular season game. So they're good. They could sign him next week with no repercussion. He's good to go for the playoffs. I'd do it just from a sentimental value.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd do it. And you're going to need somebody to play. I don't know how good a shape he's in. And he's just out there, right? He's not even on a practice squad.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I'm sure after
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm sure he was watching that game yesterday thinking,
Wouldn't that be fun? I'm sure
boy.
he called, man.
I want to suit back up for the Brownies.
I'm sure he called. And Andrew Berry doesn't need the fans to like push stuff out like that. He scours. He knows exactly what he's doing. But like, I'd think about it. I'm looking for free agent wide receivers just because, you gotta. I think they're gonna have to maybe sign somebody. I do. Oh, this is for next year. Michael Lynn Evans III. Thank you. Please. Oh, man. I'm trying to just search for the free agents. It shouldn't be that hard. Available. No, these guys all got signed. I don't know. Go sign him. Do it. Hollywood Higgins is available. Bring him back. I think there's some serious look at it. I really think there's a serious look at it. If the Browns need a wide receiver for this game, I'd make the call. You're going to need somebody, I feel like. You're going to need somebody to come in here and do something. So we'll see where the Browns are at. All right, we got a lot. Sonny's going to come up here in a couple of minutes. We'll get ready for college action. We talked no college football this morning just because we've been all Browns this morning, but we have the semifinals. We got the Ohio State tonight against Missouri. So we'll get to that. We'll make our NFL picks coming up. But we got a couple of games around the league that are going to be pretty interesting. Obviously, all eyes will be on the Ravens. Ooh, you all right?
I just fell out of my chair.
Just fell out of your chair. It almost broke, it looked like.
I'm okay.
All right, good. I'm glad you're all right. Obviously, all eyes will be on the Ravens and Dolphins. And from where we stand, we're good in the 5 seed. People have asked that question. There's nothing that we can do anywhere on the way out that would unseat us from the 5 seed. So the only thing you can do is get better, get the 1 seed, and win the division. That's if Baltimore goes on a 2-game losing streak to finish things out, and you win against Cincinnati next week. So you're in the driver's seat of this. You're such in a good spot. And it's going to be so different to watch a lot of these games because over the last couple weeks, Ryan, I was scoreboard watching, and I was looking at all these games and trying to say, okay, how does this help the Browns or how does this help this? You can just sit back, bet with Tipico, and enjoy your weekend. Knowing that 1 o'clock Sunday there in M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, I think a lot of eyes will be on that. I'm assuming that'll be the local game here too.
Yeah, it'll be nice, a nice relaxing weekend knowing that we can just sit back, watch football, and really only case scenario is we go up from here, right? As you mentioned, stuck at the 5 seed, and the only other outcome is that we get that 1 seed. And it's just going to be so nice. Get that Victory Friday, a playoff clinching Victory Friday. I don't think you could draw it up any better than it is.
No, it's absolutely perfect. The other thing we haven't talked about is this Adam Rank stuff. Because Njoku came out and he called him a clown. Like, all these people are ripping on. For those who don't know, Adam Rank writes for NFL.com, I think. Or is it CBS?
No, it's not CBS, I don't think.
Okay.
No, yeah, wait, I don't know.
NFL Network. No, NFL Network. Yeah,
but my take on that, Matt, is...
And for those who don't know, he thought the Browns were cooked and fried, and he's been obviously...
He gave them his preseason prediction record for the Browns, I believe, was 6-11. Yes, Adam Rank is a goofball. No way around it. Adam Rank is a goofball, but people are just giving him so much clout on Twitter. I'm like, guys, this is what he wants.
People are a lot of talking. I know.
This is what
people are talking a lot of crap on him this morning. Mostly because the Browns, you could tell that they hear that kind of stuff, and as much as they try to tell you that they don't, they do. And sometimes you have to have that somewhere to focus. You know what I mean? Like the rage, I guess, is the word that I would use there. But I just thought it was so funny that Njoku was throwing that in there
that was
night.
funny.
He was like, this is fool Adam Rank and all that. And the Browns, I mean, you got to have some of these things to bring it together. You got to have some of these things that these players kind of gravitate towards. They jump on. It's like a team mantra. It's like a team motto. And if their hate for Adam Rank is what it was, I just thought that was so funny that they brought that up, and it was obviously something that had been on their mind because they have proven a lot of people wrong. I mean, listen, even when it was Deshaun Watson and you had Nick Chubb and you had Jack Conklin, they have proven people wrong on a lot of different levels this season. I mean, just even the fact that I keep glowing on this statistic, for the first time since I was 6 months old, we are going to finish with a better record than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Young Ryan over there has never lived in a world that the Browns finished with a better record than the Pittsburgh Steelers. That happened in December of 1989. I was 6 months old. 6 months old.
Thought I would have been negative.
Don't even say it. I don't know. Negative
12.
I,
Negative 12.
Stop that.
Negative 12.
Get out of here. Stop that. That's insane. It's a turn, man. And also from the fact that Baltimore not running away the division, but leading the division is fine. But watch Cincinnati now, and their fight to make it. I mean, it really got turned on its head. It really got turned on its head quite a little bit this season.
Matt, I gotta ask you: Are you?
I'm old. Yes, I know.
No.
Okay,
we
sorry,
all know that. Don't worry. My question is: are you excited for the day when your son, he grows up and he he understands the game of football? You can be like, son, you are spoiled as can be. You didn't go what I went through.
I mean, the thing is, a generation like my dad would tell me about the cardiac kids and that era of football when they were really good. It's going to be I hope that I live in a world where I got to tell my kids about the crappy years of the Cleveland Browns because they're so good. I hope to live in that world one day. And they're off, winning Super Bowls and doing all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to see. But yeah, that era would be nice to be a part of there. Well, it's always a fun era when Sonny Gupta joins us. Tipico, use that code BIGPLAY100. You can bet on all the games. But Sonny, we got the slate of games to coming up. Certainly appreciate you as always on Fridays. But I can imagine some money coming in on Coach Stefanski for Coach of the Year. We've talked Miles DPOY. We know the Browns have a little bit of a better playoff, not playoff, it's 100% now, but a chance to win the Super Bowl. Sonny, we know in this town a lot of people enjoy the betting, and I'm sure a lot of it is coming in on the Browns this morning in several different areas after the big win last night.
Yeah, I mean, you just nailed it, right? Like Stefanski is now the odds-on favorite. He's minus 320 for Coach of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, is now minus 230. So, yeah, I mean, the narrative is definitely rolling. The Browns look really good, and hey, they deserve it. It's awesome to see. And Joe Flacco is actually now second for comeback
player of the year. You're right. Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch. Well, Sonny, let's turn our attention to this pro slate, and then we'll get to our college slate as well with 4 big games as well. But we start with tomorrow night, Saturday night, the Lions taking on the Cowboys. And with the Lions' ascension, with where they've been at this season, the Cowboys have been up and down. Cowboys are in this one a 5.5-point home favorite, which seems like it's a little big for me. What do you like play for that? How much do you take a stock that the Cowboys are at home in this game, and they seem to be a juggernaut at home? What do you like, Lions, Cowboys?
That you nailed it, right? Like that is what it is. It's the Cowboys being at home, which is why the line is what it is. It's another test for the Cowboys. Seeding implications are obviously on the line. With how bad the Pistons have been, it's nice that the Lions at least have a legit shot at the first seed here. But yeah, no, the Cowboys have another chance to prove that they can't only beat bad teams, that they can actually beat a legit playoff contender. So this game has the highest total of the week. We have 2 good offenses here. 60% of the money is on the over. It's at 52 points right now on Tipico Sportsbook. So I'm taking the Cowboys here. They're at home, and that's just it's the tale of 2 stories here. Like it's the Cowboys at home and the Cowboys on the road. And Cowboys at home, they're a juggernaut. So I'm taking the Cowboys. This feels like a must-win for their confidence. So yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. And then I'm also secretly rooting for a Lions and Rams matchup in the first round. So I really want to see Stafford versus old team. So hopefully that happens.
That's certainly in the cards. All right, the game that we're all going to have our eye on here in Cleveland is the Ravens taking on the Dolphins. Ravens-Dolphins in this game. So it is up in Baltimore. They are a 3.5-point home favorite, which is usually the customary. If it's this close and you're the home team, you get the 3. I lean Dolphins just because I'm a homer, just because I'm a Browns fan, and I love nothing more than the Ravens to fall in this game. But what do you like, Miami, Baltimore?
Yeah, I'd argue this is the game of the week. Both of the teams coming off impressive wins last week. And obviously, this one also has important seeding implications. So right now, the public is on the Ravens -3 here. However, I'm on the Dolphins +3.
Okay.
I might even sprinkle some on the money line here. I think the Dolphins get hot at the right time going into the playoffs. I think McDaniel just does just enough with Tyreek here to get the win. So I'm on the Dolphins +3 here.
I like it. Sonny Gupta joining us from Tipico Sportsbook Manager. Get all your bets in with Tipico using that code BIGPLAY100 when you sign up. You deposit and bet $25, and you get $100 in bonus bets to sprinkle on all of our picks here. Another interesting one in the NFC South, Saints-Bucks. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this game, Sonny, just because I'm really intrigued by the Buccaneers and what Baker Mayfield has done, but I also have an open bet on Tipico for the New Orleans Saints to win the NFC South. So I'm jaded on that standpoint. But this is another game with massive implications when it comes to playoff seeding and even that division. And really, I could see this game going either way. So I needed to ask you about it because I would love to put a wager on this game. Set me in the right direction here, Sonny. What do you like, Saints, Bucks?
Yeah, the Saints are really interesting, right? Like Saints Twitter has been amazing to follow as of late. Their hate for Derek Carr has been next level. And
they'll enjoy Russell Wilson there next year, Sonny. Yeah, they'll have fun with Russ there next year.
Oh, man. I love Jameis. I just wish he got more of a shot. Yeah, no, I fully expect if Derek Carr's having a poor game at halftime, I think they make a switch again. Yeah, it's been very interesting to watch, but like you said, they're right here in the playoff hopes. So I think Baker, Mike Evans, that connection's been working as of late. And the Bucks, the public's on the Bucks right now, -2.5, 75% of the money is on -2.5 for the Bucks. So yeah, no, and I actually think it's a really interesting case here for Baker for comeback player of the year. Right now, DeMar Hamlin's in first, Joe Flacco's in second, but Baker's right there in third. I think if they close the season really strong and Baker has a couple more good games, I think the narrative does shift. I think that Baker does have a legit chance at comeback player of the year, and the Bucks, I think, will make the playoffs. So I love the Bucks here at -2.5. They're clicking at the right time, so that's where I'm going to be wagering.
Final one for us. Bengals taking on the Chiefs, 6.5 point spread. KC, the home favorite there. We know that they have been just like a bit of a mental team. They've been up and down, Jekyll and Hyde. The Bengals surging with Jake Brown. I just think they run out here, Sonny. I really like Kansas City in this game to cover, to try to get right as they come down the stretch for the playoffs. What do you like, Bengals, Chiefs?
Yeah. Do we know if Taylor Swift's going to be there?
Is that good or bad if she's there? I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories on that. If I don't have to have Tony Romo, Sonny, call her Travis Kelce's wife again and then send the Swifties off into an abyss on Twitter because he keeps calling them married, then that's a good thing. I don't know if that's good or bad if she's going to be there or not.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I do know that the Chiefs get motivated anytime they play the Bengals. Obviously, the whole Burrowhead situation. I think that the Chiefs really try to lay the smackdown on the Bengals this week. Mahomes, Kelce, neither one of them looked that great as of late. So I totally expect the Chiefs to really lay it on them this week. I'm going to stay away from the total, which is at 44 last I checked.
Okay.
And I think my bet for this game is actually going to be on the Chiefs over 26 points. I love that bet.
I like that too.
I think Mahomes and Kelce really try to put up some points here. So that's what I'm rolling with this week.
I'm going to make a mark of that. I like the Chiefs over 26.5 myself. Great stuff. Sonny Gupta joining us from Tipico again. Use that code BIGPLAY100 when you sign up to the college slate. We go. We start tonight. Mizzou and Ohio State. Sonny, I really, and this is no disrespect to Missouri, but it's like, I never thought I'd live in a world where Ohio State's only a 4-point favorite over them, but here we are. There's obviously questions on who's going to play and not. I wish I could place a bet because it's all but assured that Marvin Harrison's not going to play in this game. We're waiting on TreVeyon Henderson. I know there's a boost on Tipico related to TreVeyon Henderson. How do you buy into this Ohio State 4.5? I would lean the Buckeyes. Sonny, it's not even just me being an Ohio State fan. I just think they have more talent. Like, again, these are one of the games, so I love having you on. You got to steer me straight on this game. Your whiskey is on the way. I don't want to spoil it for you, by the way, but there's a little hidden twist. For those that don't know, Sonny is a Michigan fan. We're Ohio State here. We bet a bottle of whiskey. The whiskey is shipped. It's on its way to New York, where Sonny is at. there's a little kind of like twist to the whiskey. I don't want to tell you what it is, but if you see it when it shows up, you let me know, okay? But that's another story for another day. Steer me straight on this Ohio State game because I'm really leaning the Buckeyes -4.5 here.
Sounds good. Yeah, I go back to New York tomorrow, so I'm excited to see.
I hope it's there. I hope it's there.
For this game, I mean, look, it's really interesting, right? Both Travion Henderson and Marvin Harrison traveled with the team, but they didn't practice. So, but like you, I have no idea who's going to play tonight. I would assume that neither of them play, but who knows, right? This is technically an exhibition game, right? It doesn't have any actual implications. So if I'm either one of them, I don't play, but we'll see. They haven't really officially been ruled out. Right now, we have 80% of the money on Ohio State at -4.5. Like you said, it's shocking that they're only 4.5 point favorites against Missouri. Missouri, they've beaten who they're supposed to beat. They lost to who they're supposed to lose to. So it doesn't feel like this team is, the strongest. And Ohio State really only has one loss, and it's against the best team in the nation. So, I would lean Ohio State. But that being said, when you have your starting running back, your quarterback, and your receiver all out, it's a different game. So what I love here is the under. 49.5 points is so many points for two teams that, we don't really know what we're going to get from either of them. And it's not going to be the same team that they rolled with during the regular season. So I'm going to go with the under 49.5 points here.
Can I ask, just kind of off that, Sonny, what do you think the line would shift to? Because it'll get announced before the game probably that Harrison and Henderson and Harrison are not going to play. Do you think that could get back to a pick'em? Do you think even Missouri favored? Like, I guess basically, if I'm still feeling Ohio State, do you think I should wait out here to see if they make those announcements? And do you think there would be a dramatic line shift there?
So I think it's been mostly priced in. I would assume this game would have been around 6.5, 7. If they were announced that they're going to be playing.
Perfect.
So I could see it going down another 1.5 points, but I would be surprised if it went down more than that.
Perfect. That's great insight. That's what I was asking there. That's why we have Sonny on. Before we get to the semifinal games, the other interesting game for this weekend will be Georgia-Florida State, which Sonny, God, do I wish this was for the college football playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, that is a game that I would just love to have for a chance to advance. And we'll get that next year, but you got 5 versus 6. What do you make out of the Bulldogs and the Seminoles? Of course, we know Florida State, they've been battling injuries, and then they're not going to have Rodemaker for this game. Seems to be all Bulldogs in this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most frustrating bet I've made of the season. Right when it came out, I took Florida State plus 14.5. Now the line has moved all the way to 19.5. Okay. I assumed that Florida State was going to be motivated. They were going to have, Keon Coleman play. I thought Johnny Wilson was going to play, but obviously that's not the case. So I got the opposite of closing line value. I have a terrible value bet right now because I really thought, Florida State was going to be motivated. I thought they were going to win, and then I thought they were going to try to claim the share of the natty. I thought that was going to be a great storyline. But no, it looks like everybody's going to sit. It looks like Georgia's going to lay the smackdown on them. So right now I'm staying away from the spread completely. Right now we have 60% of the money on Georgia minus 19.5, and I assume we'll accumulate even more liability on that side because Florida State has almost nobody playing right now. So my personal bet, I'm going to stay away from the spread. I'm going to take, I hate to give out another under, but 44.5. I really like that. I think both offenses are going to struggle to score with a bunch of backups in. So that's what I'm going with. But this is unfortunately not the game that, we would have gotten if they were actually in the playoff.
I just placed my bet under 44.5 there for Georgia, Florida State. We get to the semifinals. We start 5 o'clock Monday, Alabama, Michigan. Michigan, the 1.5 point favorite in this one. I'm interested, Sonny, the public money on this, it would seem to be like we would lean Alabama. You think Jalen Milroe's better than J.J. McCarthy. Just your thoughts on Michigan, Alabama, because I think the other part of it is it seems like everybody is just walking away with, oh, yeah, this is Alabama. There's no question. I go, that's when Michigan is going to sneak up and get this game from them. Like when everybody is just so leaning Crimson Tide, that's when Michigan is going to step up and try to steal this game away. I really got no vibe on this one. I you know me, I took Alabama because I'm an Ohio State fan. But nonetheless, Alabama, Michigan, what do you got?
I mean, I obviously have a slight bias, being a Michigan guy myself. But this is my lock of the season. I responsibly placed the largest wager I've ever placed on a college football game on Michigan. Okay, money line here. So money line is between 120 and 125. It's been moving a little bit, but yeah, the spread has actually stayed put right since its release at -1.5 Michigan, regardless of all the liability that we're accumulating all other sports books with Alabama. Right now, we have 77% of the money in Alabama. I'm sure a bunch of the other sports books have a majority on Alabama as well, but the actual line has not moved. Yeah, like you said, everybody is on Alabama. It feels like this is a lock. It feels like we're supposed to be the underdogs right now. It's crazy. Michigan has not lost this season. Alabama, they should have lost to that 6-6 Auburn team. Like, it was insane that Auburn let that slide in the Iron Bowl. Alabama is not the team that everybody thinks they are. They have the name, but Jalen Milroe got benched this year, right? Like, this is not the quarterback that everybody thinks he is. This is not the team that everybody thinks they are. The SEC is not the SEC that they were in previous seasons. So I'm shocked that so much of the money is coming in on Bama. Michigan has not shown any weaknesses this season, right? The closest game they've had is against Ohio State, and that's a 6-point game, right? So I feel very confident in this Michigan team. I think this is the best team in the country with NFL talent on both sides of the ball. I think the bigger test is going to be the next round against Texas and Washington, whichever one of those teams advances. But right now, I love Michigan -1.5 here. And yeah, I placed the biggest bet I've ever placed on a college football game on this game.
I love it. All right, final one here. Texas, Washington, 3.5 for the Longhorns. And actually, Sonny, because I did my parlay on Tipico a few weeks ago, I got Washington at +4.5, so that's down a point. But a massive, giant 63.5 over/under. What do you like, Texas, Washington?
The disrespect on Washington has been crazy to see. With that crazy Oregon spread of a couple of weeks ago, and now again Texas with the -3.5. So I'm staying completely away from the spread. I'm done doubting Washington. They arguably have the strongest resume of wins here right now. So, yeah, to bet against them again, I don't like it right now. The public is actually split now with it coming down a point to 3.5. The public is split 50-50 on Tipico. The over/under, like you said, it's a 63.5 point total. But that being said, I still love the over. Quinn Ewers, Michael Penix, great quarterbacks here. They've looked strong all season. I think that this is going to be a shootout. I really don't know who's going to win it, so I'm staying away from the spread. Okay. I love the total here, and I love, Quinn Ewers and Michael Penix both going off here. So lock in over 63.5 for me here.
I love it. Sonny, we always appreciate you, man. Have a fantastic new year. We'll talk to you next week as we get ready for the final week of the regular season. And, of course, get ready for our national championship. Use that code BIGPLAY100 when you sign up with Tipico, and enjoy the whiskey. I hope it's there waiting for you, all right?
Thanks, Matt. Happy New Year.
There you go. Sonny Gupta from Tipico Sportsbook Manager. And, again, use that code BIGPLAY100. Let's do this, Ryan. Let's catch a quick break. Tell everybody about Tipico. We got our NFL picks, and I'm going to put this on you too. We're going to do Ohio State tonight, and we will do the 2 semifinal games. So we will add a mix there of college for us. We'll write that down. Got some great insight there from Sonny. I'm not going to lie, man. He swayed one of my picks on the pro side. Swayed one of my picks. We'll get to that. Stay with us. NFL picks come your way next. we go around the league with our NFL picks, and we'll sprinkle in some college here. Great stuff with Sonny Gupta. If you missed it, go back at the full replay. Folks, you missed the show today. What a show it's been. Go back. We're on YouTube. Big Play. Matt Fontana Show on YouTube. Of course, just follow us on Twitter as well. Full replay of the show there. Let's get to it. Our NFL picks presented by Tipico. Use that code BIGPLAY100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 to get $100 in bonus bets right to your account. You can bet with us, dude. We're hot on the boosts. Hot on the boost. Dude, we got the Cavs tonight. I forgot about Cavs tonight.
Yeah.
Let's get a Cavs boost coming up here in a little bit. All right, let's start with our NFL picks. Last week, modest week, we both went 6-9. Nice. On the week. That improves me to 98-96 on the year. Ryan is 104-90-8 on the year with the pushes. Tough for us on Cincinnati. Tough for us on Green Bay. Both lost on the Colts. Both lost on Kansas City. Both lost on the 49ers on Monday night. So let's remedy that situation this week. We are going to fly through some of these games, including tomorrow night, Saturday night. They had to move Monday Night Football off because ESPN goes, yeah, we got a game on Monday with the college football playoffs. So we got Monday Night Football on Saturday night, 8:15 down AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World. You got the Detroit Lions at 11-4 traveling to take on the Dallas Cowboys at 10-5. This is a 5.5 point spread, Ryan. It stayed that way all week on the side of the home Dallas Cowboys in this one. I'm going to get you some public money action on this one here coming up in just a second. 2 minutes here. All right. 65% of the public money is over there on the side of the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit coming in 12-5 against the spread their last 17 games, but they do not play Dallas that well. Detroit is only 2-4 against the spread their last 6 games against Dallas. They're 0-5 straight up in their last 5 games against the Cowboys. Detroit is just 1-4 straight up in their last 6 games at AT&T Stadium. Dallas coming in 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games. They are on a 15-game home winning streak, and including that 5-1 straight up their last 6 against Detroit at home. 5.5. I'll take Dallas here. I don't really like it, but I'll take the Cowboys. Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to say Dallas here, given that they, besides the Browns, are the best team at home. It's crazy to think a 5.5 spread against an 11-win team. Lions are still in contention for that 1 seed. I'm going to go Lions here. I do expect the Cowboys W. However, I think the Lions make this one close.
Rams are on the road. They go up to MetLife to take on the Giants. Rams are in a playoff spot. They got to keep it rolling, and they are a pretty big road 5.5 point spread favorite. It's down from 6.5. Rams 5.5 point favorites on the road. This money about split 55-45 on the side of the LA Rams. Get some trends on this one. I will start with LA. They have covered in all 5 of their last 5 games. They are 5-1 straight up in their last 6. The problem is they're not good on the road. The Rams are only 3-11 straight up in their last 14 games on the road, and they don't play the Giants all that well. Rams are only 2-9 against the spread their last 11 games against the Giants. They're only 3-7 straight up in their last 10 games against the Giants. 5.5. Let me do the Giants real quick. I'm sorry. Giants, dude, they're 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games overall. 5.5. My gut says the Rams. I'll take the Rams here. They got to win to make the playoffs here, so I think they'll do it. Ryan?
Yeah, Matt, I feel you on that. I'm going to go the Rams as well. Haven't clinched that playoff spot yet. I expect them to. I mean, New York just really has nothing really great going for them. They did play pretty decent when they put Tyrod Taylor in.
I think they're better with Tyrod. I do,
they
and that's like a little fear that I have, but I just think that the Rams are going to be motivated to put up a lot of points and get that win.
Yeah, Rams are clicking pretty well right now. Stafford's playing well again. Just too many weapons for the Giants to handle. Give me the Rams.
All right, another 1 o'clock game here at Lucas Oil as the Colts are going to welcome in the Las Vegas Raiders out of nowhere. As crazy as it sounds, the Raiders could make the playoffs. Now, they need a lot of help, and they got to win on their way out. They are 7-8, and then you have the Colts at 8-7, who, dare I say, Ryan, Colts starting to sputter a little bit here. They've lost 2 out of their last 3. They got kind of smoked by the Falcons. They might be coming down to earth here just a little bit. I've got this as a 3.5 point home favorite for the Colts. It stayed that way all week. Public money, 58% of it is on the side of the Indianapolis Colts. I will start with the Road Raiders in this one, though. Vegas 5-1-1 against the spread their last 7 games, but they're only 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games on the road. But how about this? The Raiders are 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games at Lucas Oil Stadium. You flip it over for the Colts. They're 5-2 against the spread their last 7 games, 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games as well. 3.5 Colts the home favorite. Ryan, you're up first.
Yeah, this one's interesting, right? I mean, Antonio Pierce, you would think, has done about all he can to get that coaching job next year. Colts are fighting for that playoff spot. You know how tight the AFC South is? I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one to cover. They're hot, coming off that crazy win against Kansas City, and I just feel like the Colts are going to fall off, and I don't think they're making the playoffs. Give me the Raiders.
I'll join you on the Raiders there. I like Vegas in this one. They're going to maybe have Josh Jacobs back, which should help. Yeah, I like them with the points, too. I don't know if they'll necessarily win, but hopefully a close game there, and I'll take the points on that one. We got the Cardinals traveling to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Eagles. This is one of the bigger spreads of the weekend. I have it at 11.5. Some people have it at 12. It opened at 8.5, so it's certainly up some points here. Cardinals 3-12. They're playing for a draft pick. And then we know the struggles of the Eagles, man, and they got to kind of right the ship here as they're trying to get ready to go for the playoffs. For Philly coming in, they beat up on the Giants, sure, but that ended a 3-game losing streak. Is it enough for them to go out and beat up on Arizona, who, by the way, you know, Arizona losing to Chicago, got smoked by San Francisco. Those, like, I wanted to go back to that San Fran game because that was a 12-point spread like this. So then I try to compare Philly to San Francisco and say, are they going to cover just like San Fran did? And I don't know. So public money on this game, 53-47, 53% of public money is on the Cards. Arizona's 4-8 against the spread their last 12 games. They are 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games against the Eagles, and 6-3 straight up in their last 9 games against the Eagles. The problem is Arizona is only 1-10 straight up in their last 11 games on the road. They're only 5-11 straight up in their last 16 games on the road against Philly. Again, I'm not talking about them to win, but will they cover? Philly coming in just 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games. It's big, and boy, did we get screwed on big spreads last week. I kept taking teams to cover. Oh, man. I can't let that buck my trend here. I got to go Philly. I'm going to take them to cover. I got screwed on big spreads last week, but I'll take Philly here minus at 11.5.
Yeah, Battle of the Birds here in Philadelphia. I mean, this has to be a get-right game for the Eagles. I know they did beat the Giants last week, but barely, and we know they're not a good team. It's got to be a get-right game for Philadelphia. Get some momentum, get some confidence headed to the playoffs. A team they should handle easily. It is a big spread, but I can't sit here and bet Cardinals. Give me the Eagles.
Philly it is. The Falcons on life support at 7-8 travel up to Soldier Field in the Windy City to take on the Bears at 6-9. Of course, we know the Bears saw them a couple of weeks ago. They're trying to turn some things around there, but they're out of the playoff hunt. For Atlanta, they got to win out and hopefully get some help. They beat Indianapolis last week to end a 2-game losing streak there for the Falcons. I've got this as a 3-point even spread for Chicago at home. It's up 0.5 point. It opened at 2.5. And as far as the public money goes, 57% of it is over on the Chicago Bears. Let me start with the Falcons here. They are just 4-10 against the spread their last 14 games. They are just 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games against the Bears. Atlanta is 2-11 straight up in their last 13 games on the road. The Falcons have not covered in their last 5 games at Soldier Field. Chicago, 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games, 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games at home. Give me the Bears. I'll take Chicago in that one minus the 3.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt, on the Bears. Kind of might be a game Justin Fields 2 really more weeks to prove that, you know, he's their guy, and that'll be interesting. Standard 3-point home favorite for the Bears. I just can't sit here in good faith and ever bet on the Falcons. You'll never catch me doing that ever again. Give me the Bears.
They've spoiled us a little bit here on this show. I completely agree. The game of the weekend, 1 o'clock up at M&T Bank Stadium, 12-3, number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens. Right behind them, the 11-4 Miami Dolphins. This is a 3-point. I got it at 3.5, to be honest with you. You want me the hook? You want the hook? Well, it depends who you're taking here.
It won't matter for me.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do it at 3.5 then. Baltimore, the home favorite here, opened at 2.5. Public money, 50-50 on this game, which should be an electric one up there. Biggest question for this, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. So you know Jalen Waddle's probably going to be out for this game. Tyreek Hill still battling injury. And then for Baltimore, is it a big letdown game after that massive shellacking there of the 49ers? We shall see. Miami comes in 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games, 5-1 straight up in their last 6. But they don't really play Baltimore all that well. Miami just 2-9 against the spread their last 11 games against the Ravens, and 3-8 straight up in their last 11 against the Ratbirds. For Baltimore, 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games. And as I mentioned, they really have kind of owned Miami in their matchup here. 3.5. I already wrote it down. I'm taking Miami. That's Browns homerism for me. I really hope Miami wins that game. I actually think there's an outside chance that there's a big letdown there for Baltimore. Give me the Fins plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Fins there as well. My head does say Ravens, but obviously I'm going to bet with my heart in this one. So just give me the Dolphins. Let's see some magic happen.
All right, we got to fly here a little bit. Titans traveling to take on the Texans. This is a 4.5-point spread. C.J. Stroud back for the Texans. Quick trends. Tennessee 1-5 against the spread their last 6 games against Houston. 1-9 straight up their last 10 games on the road. Houston is only 3-6 against the spread their last 9 games. Texans are only 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games at home. I'll let you go here first, Ryan. Texans 4.5. Titans.
Yeah, Texans still trying to get in the playoffs. Titans are just not good. Give me the Texans.
We'll differ. I'll take the Titans in that one to cover. We'll see. 49ers, another big spread here as they travel to Landover to take on the Washington Commanders at FedEx Field. I've got some places at 13, others at 12.5. Of course, San Francisco coming off that eye-opening loss to the Ravens. Do they rally? We'll see. San Francisco's 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games against Washington. 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games on the road. San Francisco 6-1 straight up in their last 7. Washington 6-game losing streak, 5-game losing streak at home. 12.5-point spread. 49ers?
Yeah, Niners get right game for them. They're going to bully a bad team, the Commanders. 49ers all day.
Saints Bucks for the NFC South here. There's a real interesting one there at Raymond James Stadium. Home for Tampa and the custom 2.5, almost 3-point favorite on this one. We talked to Sonny about this game. He liked the Bucks. He thought the Saints might have to go to a backup quarterback if they, if things start struggling there with Derek Carr. I got this bet that I think that I had New Orleans win in the South. So I might double down on that. New Orleans. I don't like it, but I'll take New Orleans.
All right, I'll take Baker and the Bucks.
Yeah,
keep that comeback player of the year campaign alive.
Jags, this is one of my locks of the weekends. Jags are 6-point home favorite there against the Carolina Panthers. It sounds like Trevor Lawrence going to play in this game. He's battling a shoulder injury. Carolina, we know they don't have the draft pick. I still don't think they have much going on for them. Give me the Jags -6.
Yeah, I'll ride that with you. Worst team in football is the Panthers. Jaguars got to get right. They're headed to the playoffs. If they win that game, probably. Give me the Jags.
Another double-digit one there is the Bills welcoming the Patriots. This is at 13. It's one of the largest, actually tied for the largest that I have on the slate. Of course, the Bills still pushing for a wild card spot. I think they should really handle New England in this one. 13, I'll take Buffalo. Ryan?
I'm going to take New England here just in the fact that they did beat them earlier in the year, which is really surprising. Buffalo will win, but I'll just take the Pats to cover.
Steelers traveling up to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. 2 8-7 teams, 2 teams with outside shots to make it, but they need a lot of help, and the loser of this one is all but done. Pittsburgh 2-4 against the spread their last 6 games, 2-4 straight up in their last 6. And how about this? Pittsburgh is only 4-9 against the spread their last 13 games against Seattle, and they've not been good on the road. They've not covered in their last 5 games up there at Lumen Field. Seattle is sneaky 4-1 against the spread their last 6 games, and they're 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games at home. Give me Seattle minus at 3.5 all day long.
Yeah, won't catch me betting for Mason Rudolph for the Steelers. Give me the Seahawks.
Chargers taking on the Broncos. Broncos moving on from Russell Wilson. I got to do it again. Give me the Chargers.
What's the spread?
3.5 home there for the Broncos.
I
just think that's fine. I get it, but I think Denver. I mean, here's the thing. Sean Payton is going to do everything he can to make Jarrett Stidham look like a genius and make him look like a genius. And they're going to try to glam it up there with all. The rest of that team knows that they're in a lot of trouble. The drama this week with Russell Wilson. I at least like the Chargers to cover in this game. I don't know if they'll win, but give me the 3.5 on the road. I cannot believe that I'm putting faith in
the Broncos are favored.
Yeah.
Oh, give me the Chargers. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, no.
My bad.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. The Broncos are 3-point or 3-point road favorites.
Then give me the Chargers.
Yeah, it's at Mile High. Opened at 6, all the way down to 3.5 with them going to the backup here. Game we'll keep our eye on at Arrowhead is the Bengals traveling to take on the Chiefs. 9-6 for KC, 8-7 for Cincy. They're trying to make it 7-point spread in this game. It's all the way. It started at 3.5. It's all the way up to 7. Injuries aplenty over there, certainly for the Bengals, Jamar Chase, whatnot. We'll see. Cincinnati is 5-2 against the spread their last 7 games against Kansas City. Bengals are 7-2 straight up in their last 9 against KC, but that was a lot of Joe Burrow playing there at Burrowhead Stadium. Kansas City, dude, they're only 1-4-1 against the spread their last 6 games. I'll buck that trend here. I got a lot of favorites, which I don't like. KC to win by a touchdown.
Every team got that kryptonite. I don't even really care that Joe Burrow's out. I think they'll have a little bit of more magic with Jake Browning. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they'll cover that spread against the Chiefs.
Sunday Night Football, Jaron Hall getting the start for the Vikings. They have also now started 4 different quarterbacks that season, but he actually had to start earlier in the year. This is his second career start. Jordan Love and the Packers, they're all 7-8 trying to fight it out. I think there's an outside chance that the Packers still make the playoffs. It's a 1-point basically pick 'em here, and I will go Green Bay. I think they got the better quarterback.
Yep, Green Bay. Enough said.
It is. All right, we go to college football here tonight. Let's start with Ohio State, Missouri. 4.5. Great, dude. I love this insight from Sonny, which I appreciate. It's 4.5, some places 5. He feels like it's already built in that Marvin Harrison and Travion Henderson will not play in this game tonight. I started with some trends. Missouri is 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games, 10-3 straight up in their last 13 games against a Big Ten opponent. Missouri 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games as a dog. Ohio State, not much for you. Ohio State 7-1 against the spread their last 8 games when played on a Friday. That do anything for you? I'll take Ohio State to cover in this one.
All right, I'll actually take Missouri. I do think Ohio State's more talented, but it's no fluke that you go 10-2 in the SEC. So give me Mizzou.
All right, we go to our semifinal games on Monday, which are going to be all exciting, and we start with game number 1. I'm sorry, I lost my place on my page. I'm going to scroll back up here. Keep going. All right, you got Bama, Michigan. Sonny's all over Michigan in this one. It's Michigan a 1.5-point favorite in this one in the Rose Bowl. You go first on this one.
Sonny straight up convinced me, so I'm going to go Michigan.
All right, we'll differ on that one. I'll take Alabama. Texas, 3.5-point favorite. Washington. I'm going to take the Huskies in this one.
I'm taking the Longhorns, Matt.
All right, we differ all. We do literally. We differ all across the board there on our college picks, which are great. Cavs are in action tonight. Do you want to do a boost tonight?
We gotta move.
We gotta go. Oh, dude, it's 54 already. Oh my god. Do you want to do it after the show then?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do that. Cavs are in action tonight. They welcome the Bucks to town. Cavs 6.5-point home favorites in this one.
Is Giannis out?
I don't know.
I would have.
I hope so. Is he? He's banged up, right? He's probable with a calf tonight. Jay Crowder out for them. Cavs, is Donovan going to play tonight?
Who knows?
I don't know. I assume he's going to come back. I like the Cavs to cover. I like the Cavs to cover tonight at home. I like that. Yep, I like that. We'll do that. We'll do a little 3-leg parlay there. We'll get a boost there with Tipico. Folks, what a fantastic day. We appreciate everybody that joined us this morning for all of our great picks. Hopefully you'll win a lot of money this weekend here on Tipico. These are the days that you live for. These are the days that we live for as fans. We don't get them all the time. So to have them, they are so very sweet. Coffee tastes better. If you're off work and already at brunch, the Bloody Mary already tastes better. Ryan's mimosa probably tastes better. He doesn't like Bloody Marys. Enjoy the hell out of it, folks. This is so great. And I can't tell you how excited I am to just sit back and watch football. You don't have to worry. There is no stress this weekend from a football standpoint. Sit back, watch the games, enjoy it, have a safe and happy new year out there. And as we turn the page to 2024, really appreciate everybody that has joined us here on the show, that maybe today was even their first day that they tuned in. We had a hell of a week. We had our biggest show in our history yesterday, and I would imagine today's going to surpass
2 days in a row.
That's been great. So the support, we can't thank you enough for it. And support our great friends at Garage Beer and at Tipico. We got a lot of big things coming. Literally, I know it's a big play. It sounds like a bad pun. We got a lot of huge things coming with this station, this place, these people that we're working for in 2024. So that'll do it for us. We will talk to everybody on Tuesday. We'll be off Monday, but we'll be back Tuesday.
Make the old joke. See you next year.
See you next year. Ha, ha, ha. Appreciate the hell out of everybody out there. Enjoy the football. Go Cavs tonight. Go get it, Ohio State. Sit back, get fat, enjoy the beverage, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday. Yes, we'll talk to you next year. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana, and as always, for the last time in 2023, take it easy.